What do you see as a way out of the Serbia-Kosovo dialogue deadlock?
You know, right now there is no alternative to the dialogue. So the important thing is for both parties to continue to stick to the dialogue. Now, I'm sure you saw Mr. Borrell's statement. We are really calling on the Kosovo side to be more constructive. And I do have to say that I'm a little bit disturbed about the messages coming out of Prištine. I have been working with the European Union Special Representative. I don't find any evidence of bias. I don't find any evidence of collusion in working to advance Serbia's interest in this. What we're trying to do, what the European Union is trying to do, is create the conditions for normalization and also harmonization for European Union integration at the same time. So I do think that the answer is for both sides to double down, but for the Kosovo side to show more pragmatism and more realism in their approach to the European Union.
The EU stated they would measure, they would weigh additional measures towards both parties if they do not move forward with the implementation of the Ohrid Agreement and its annex. Is the US considering potential measures towards both parties in that case?
Well, look, I wouldn't say measures, I would say consequences. And I'll tell you that the consequences that Kosovo is facing is that if they refuse to engage with the European Union is not going to engage on additional assistance and additional measures for integration. Look, I do think that those measures are having an impact on Kosovo and on Kosovo's economy. It is my hope that at least bilaterally, the United States can work with Kosovo to find a way to have those measures removed in 2024. So we're going to continue to work with Kosovo to bring them closer to the European Union, but we'd like to see some political will in moving in that direction as well.
Is there a deadline for that?
No, that's unfortunate. So, I mean, these measures are indefinite until there is a movement toward progress in both Ohrid and a de-escalation plan.
Are the US and the EU on the same page when it comes to it that the association with Serb majority municipalities has to be in line with the Constitutional Court decision? I'm asking this because the EU spokesperson, Peter Stano, declined today to explicitly admit that the EU's position is that the Constitutional Court decision should be taken into consideration during the establishment of the association.
We have said repeatedly that the Association of Serb Majority Municipalities should not create problems within Kosovo for functionality, should be in line with their legal code, and should be in compliance with the Constitution. So within that, I still think that there's an enormous capacity to allow Serbs to manage their own municipal services in a way that best suits their citizens without becoming a Republika Srpska. We've addressed that repeatedly. And I'm disappointed that that talking point continues to be raised, that this would be Republika Srpska. It won't. It's really about municipal authorities doing what municipalities already do in Serbian language.
The Assembly of Republika Srpska, entity of Bosnia and Herzegovina, has moved forward towards adopting a law on foreign agents, similar to the one already enforced in Russia. How do you comment on that?
Well, first of all, I wouldn't say that it's similar to the one enforced in Russia. It is identical to the one enforced in Russia. So we see that as anti-democratic. We see that as dangerous. And we see it as desperate from the authorities who are trying to silence independent journalists from pointing out all of the deficiencies that the government has already displayed. So by telling journalists that they can't tell the truth doesn't hide the truth. So I think that there is no way that this law can help bring Bosnia and Herzegovina, and particularly Republika Srpska, closer to Europe. But I do think that that's the plan. I don't think that Republika Srpska President Milorad Dodik actually intends to help bring Republika Srpska closer to Europe.
Does the High Representative Christian Schmidt enjoy enough support, taking into consideration the latest developments and the statements coming from the President of Republika Srpska Milorad Dodik saying that Mr. Schmidt would be deported if he tried to enter Republika Srpska?
Well, first of all, he doesn't have that authority. But let me just say that the high representative is outlined in the Dayton Peace Agreement. So he is an important part of Dayton. His legitimacy draws from Dayton, and he has our full support. And he has the full support of the European Union as well. So, and not just that, but he has the full support of the PIC as well.
Is the U.S. satisfied with the fight against corruption in North Macedonia? I'm asking this in the context of the changes to the criminal law, by which the penalties for the misuse of the officials were reduced.
Well, I'll say to start that corruption is the biggest problem for the Western Balkans, and I think all of the countries of the Western Balkans could do more, including North Macedonia. And that is one of the reasons why we are consistently in favor of the countries embarking on the reforms that the European Union requests. With regard to the specific information on the changes in the criminal code, all I can say is that there are multiple levels of checking and multiple balances, including through the European Union, that would require North Macedonia to make sure that its laws are not only in line with its constitution, but also in line with European expectations and standards.
When it comes to Montenegro and the formation of the future government, you said in your last statement that the United States was very clear that it wanted government made up exclusively of parties focusing on the European integration, parties dedicated to NATO and sharing the West's position regarding Russia. If a part of the pro-European forces, let's say parties in Montenegro, make a political agreement that will entail the entry of anti-Western and pro-Russian political forces into the government, what could be the possible consequences?
Well, look, all I can say is that right now with Montenegro, we have a very, very close relationship. Montenegro has proven itself to be not only a solid NATO ally, but a good European Union candidate. We are extremely excited about the level of partnership that we expect to enjoy with the new president and the new prime minister. The president of Montenegro was well received in New York, and he made a very positive impression on everyone that he interacted with from the U.S. government. And we all agreed in every statement, in every declaration, that the biggest challenge to European security right now is the unprovoked aggression on Ukraine. And even yesterday at the A5 breakfast, we made a declaration about the need to support Ukraine against the aggression from Russia. So in the context of all of this, I think all of our Balkan interlocutors, all of our Montenegrin interlocutors understand that now is not the time to give Russia a platform for interfering in the Western Balkans.